Hello everybody, Tyrone the God 3 here, and welcome back to my Dragon Ball Super reviews. Today we'll be reviewing episode 17. This episode is titled, Keep This a Secret from Chi-Chi. I Want to Go Train Too. This episode had some really nice moments, and oh my god, like I said, I can't stress enough how much I love peaceful episodes in Dragon Ball Z. I love how the characters interact. And when you stop to look at Dragon Ball characters, they don't see each other for long gaps of time. Like, literally, like, huge gaps of time will pass, and, they'll never see each other. And I'm going to briefly go over the plot, but I'm going to be gushing over the interactions, because through the plot, there's huge gaps of time where they just don't see each other, but then when they see each other again, it's always just great to see them working and acting like a true family, and it was really good. And a lot of that showed off in this episode. Basically, long story short, it's been 6 months since Vegeta has been training with Whis, so Whis is about to come back in order to, eat some food from Bulma, eat some food with Bulma. So while this is all happening, though, I love this scene in particular. Gohan comes home, Hercule's playing with Pan, because Pan's born now. Pan is officially born, which means, I gotta say, Videl is the most luckiest pregnant woman, because all of her labor pains and baby weight and all of that was off screen. So then after all of that, though, Hercule's playing with Pan, Gohan comes home, and we get to see the return of Great Saiyaman! Yeah! He didn't make a return during the Battle of Gods saga, but I'm so glad he made a return in Resurrection F. He's Great Saiyaman, and it's funny because he's like, by day, I'm a science researcher. By night, I'm a father, but I'm also the Great Saiyaman, and him and Mr. Satan are having like this cool little play fight with Pan in their hands, and they're like throwing Pan up in the air while they're having the play fight, and all Chi-Chi sees when she busts in is like Gohan and Hercule fighting while freaking Pan is in the air, in mid freaking air, while they're freaking play fighting, and it's a really great moment. I love to see how much of a grandfather that Hercule's being towards Pan right now, and I really love to see how Gohan's taking time to be a father in this cool little fun way. So those were all really great moments. And then we cut to a nice moment that was in Resurrection F, only I think it happened a little bit earlier, like a tad bit earlier, because Goku hasn't even left yet. But we see now that Krillin is a police officer, and we see this because some robbers end up robbing the bank, the exact same ones from Resurrection F. And they play the epic music. I call it the epic music. It's the song where Goku came out of the water in order to fight off against Beerus in round 2 while he was at Super Saiyan God. They used that song, only they used it during a police chase where the robbers end up cutting off Bulma, or making Bulma's car flip over because she was in the way. Bulma ends up coming in and getting caught in the car chase as well, but Bulma's the one that basically stops the robbers because she's the one that drives them off the road and has them crash into the tree. So she kind of helped Krillin in this one, rather than in the movie where Krillin was the one who just plain stopped the robbers by teleporting. And it's funny, I like how Krillin just takes his job way too seriously, because like even though Krillin and Bulma are obviously friends, he still winds up giving her the freaking speeding ticket, even though she basically helped Krillin and their friends. And it's just so funny. So just to see that happen was hilarious. And then you could also see Goku, he's chilling, doing his little radish farming job, and the issue that Chi-Chi has right now is that she wants Pan to grow up to be a great female something, not a scholar, but she wants her to grow up and peaceful and live healthy and learn and be well educated. She doesn't want her to be a fighter, basically. So then she winds up locking herself, Videl, and Pan into the room, and Gohan just is trying to reason with her, Hercule's trying to reason with her, and then all of that ends up going, Gohan freaking calls Krillin heads over to their house, and then Krillin brings Goku, so he's like, I brought Goku with me, and Goku's like, I'm here. That's funny. And then Bulma comes in and she's like, all right, this needs a woman's touch. I'll help you all if Krillin takes off my speeding ticket. And Krillin's like, no, I gotta do this. This is my job. So she gets mad. She's like, whatever. And then she goes into the room and they all have basically a girls talk, if you will. So it was really nice to see the females in DBZ just sort of together, with the exception of Android 18, of course. But they all are in there, and they're all just discussing things. And Bulma brings up that Vegeta's been gone for 6 months training with Whis. And, oh my god, Goku freaking breaks in the room like the Kool-Aid Man. And when Goku breaks in the room like the Kool-Aid Man, he's like, what? Vegeta's been gone this whole time training? And she's like, yeah, she's been training with Whis. So Goku's plan now is to train with Whis as well so he can get stronger and catch up. Because Vegeta's been gone for 6 months. So Bulma's like, alright, when Whis comes, I'll tell you. And then I'll try to see if we can get that arranged. But we need to stick to the problem at hand. And Videl basically thinks of a more reasonable situation. She goes ahead and lets Pan grow up and decide her fate. That's how she's going to come at this. Because Videl brought up a good point. Videl was a fighter back in the Majin Buu saga. And if it weren't for that, she would have never married Gohan. She would have never met Gohan. So she's the middleman. And I like to see that Videl's the more reasonable one out of all the females. And as well as Gohan, Krillin, and the others. So she made a very important life decision for Pan by letting Pan decide. That was really cool. It was a really nice growing character moment. And I think that's going to be the most we squeeze out of Videl in this series. So, yeah. Anyway, then Goku gets impatient. A lot of stuff happens in this episode. Goku gets freaking impatient and ends up asking Bulma every second of the day, hey, is Whis here? Is Whis here? Is Whis here? And then I love this moment. Too bad I couldn't find a screen picture for it, or a screenshot picture for it. But freaking Bulma gives Goku a cell phone. And I gotta say, Dragon Ball Super has definitely updated itself in terms of dates. Because instead of using like the corded phone like they've been using in Dragon Ball Z, or the huge cell phone, now they actually have smartphones now. So yeah, that kind of dates it, but at the same time, hey, they're up to date. And I should have brought that up like 4 episodes ago when Hercule had his gold cell phone. Anyway, Goku has a cell phone now, so that's funny. And he lies to Chi-Chi, telling her that it's for Gohan's surprise party for Pan being born, which it's totally not. But it's still funny. So then once all of that's said and done, Gohan ends up sneaking in and trying to figure out what his true intentions are. Bulma finally calls Goku to tell him that Whis is there. Goku impatiently asks Whis, can we just go ahead and train? Whis agrees and says, yeah, you can go ahead and train with me. Besides, Vegeta's probably caught up to your godlike power by this point. I kind of found it a punch in the face to Vegeta how Vegeta had to do all this crap in order to train with Whis, and Goku can just ask and he's fine with it. But whatever. Anyway, after all of that said and done, Gohan figures out Goku's true intentions. And Goku keeps rushing Whis. Can we go yet? Can we go yet? And Whis finally ends his meal. And he's like, alright, fine, we can go. Because, Goku's being really impatient. Which was kind of out of character for him. I say kind of because sometimes he can get impatient, but not that impatient. That was kind of out of character for him. Anyway, once that's all said and done, Chi-Chi finally finds out the gist of what's going on. Chi-Chi finds out. And when Chi-Chi finds out she's about to rip Goku's head off, Gotensha's like, yeah, why don't you let Dad go? And Chi-Chi's like, stay out of this. And Goku's like, I'm sorry, Chi-Chi, I gotta go. So Goku ends up leaving. And Chi-Chi takes it a lot better than I thought she would. I thought she would just rage out, but I think Chi-Chi's come to understand she can't really stop Goku from being Goku. A lot of people think Goku's an asshole in this scene, but I like to think of it as they understand each other so much that Chi-Chi's just went ahead and let it go. Chi-Chi's trying to keep her family together, and Goku just wants to get stronger. And she loves Goku, but at the same time, she just realizes this is Goku. This is who he is. So at that point, Gohan's just like, yeah, I'll take care of everything. I'll take care of Mom and everybody. So then Bulma decides to go ahead and start throw the party for Pan's birth anyway. And while that's all said and done, Goku heads off the train, and that's basically the end of the episode. Really nice episode, really great character moments. I gotta say, I loved each and every one of the characters in this episode that were showcased in this episode. They all did their jobs really, really well. They all were very expressive, and they were fun and colorful, and they all showed off their traits very well. Like I said, that Goku being really impatient scene was kind of jarring. It's like, I know if you want me to think of an example, it's like, Tyrone, what are you talking about? The first thing that comes to mind is Goku waiting for Vegeta and Trunks at the hyperbolic time chamber when they were still training, and Piccolo, Tien, and the others were fighting Semi-Perfect Cell. Like, he was very patient then, so it confuses me as to how he's so impatient now. It was off to me. Like, they kind of switched his character a little bit, and it was a little jarring to me. Anyway, this was a really good episode. I love episodes where not a lot of fighting is happening, mostly due to the fact that when these episodes happen, it makes the fighting episodes worth a lot more because of that time of peace. So we see that Goku's actually going to go train now, and the previews are really interesting too, because we actually get to see Sorbet. We got to see Sorbet, and we also saw Champa and Vados. If you don't know who that is, Champa apparently seems to be like the fat version of Beerus, and Vados seems to be the female version of Whis. So, and Vados is a, pun off vodka, Champa is champagne. Obvious stuff. So I'm guessing that Champa and Vados are going to intertwine, but I'm hoping they're just building up for their own saga. I really don't want them to have to share the saga timeline with Resurrection F. That'd be a little too jarring for me. And like I said, we get to see Sorbet, so we actually do see that the Resurrection F plot is coming. Like, it's actually coming a lot faster than I thought it would, too. The way the episodes were going, I didn't think Sorbet and Tagoma would be showing their faces for at least 2 more episodes. But other than that, we can see that, so we see Sorbet, we see Tagoma, we see Goku and Vegeta at Whis and Beerus' planet, and they're training. One thing I'm confused about, though, is that in the preview, Goku has his gi on. He has his new gi, the one he has in Resurrection F. My question is, Chi-Chi didn't make the outfit yet, so how did Goku get it? But those are questions that can probably be answered in episode 18, which is titled, I've Come to, Training Begins on Beerus' Planet. And with that said, everybody, I'll see you all then, everybody. Can't wait for episode 18. This episode was really good. See you all then. Tyrone the God 3, out.